the latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Sorry about my voice. I'm getting better. And please don't forget to give this video a like. Africa is the only continent other people try to create narrative to suit themselves because they know that we will always believe whatever that they put out. Recently, there is an attack on Mali from the west. And Mali are all in all the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved. General Assimi Goïta is out there proving to the world. According to Abdoulaye Diop, the West must mind their business. They are ready for them. They've declared an all-out against the Western attack on Mali. France decided to create a propaganda claiming that there is destabilization, insecurity in Mali. So for that matter, their citizens must evacuate. And we've also seen a lot of other nations asking their people to evacuate. We've also heard the African Union is calling for urgent intervention in Mali because they believe that the crisis in Mali is at a point that it is only the international that will come and set them free. But Abdoulaye Diop is telling the whole world that what the Western media is creating is false. It's just a direct attack on Mali. And they are ready to defend themselves because Mali can take care of its affairs. And they don't need any other person to claim they are coming to set them free. Because already we know the people that are behind all these things. The congressmen in US told us that they're the ones that are funding these people.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism. This has got to end. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
We are more or less pushed out many Western countries, including US, from Niger, from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from other countries. And this will cause problems for the future if we don't act. So we are thinking about an integrated approach to step up our efforts in Africa. And especially this approach will be that we will support them in a way that they ask for, instead of bringing them good, like we did in the past. So we're working hard on that one. But the reality at the moment is we lost ground. We saw there are more and more actors active in Africa. And I mentioned already migration, but it also means that when we are not present there, that it will be more difficult to have access to raw materials.
And the international cooperation and its colleague in charge of LA Communications led a press conference on the current situation, marked by a mediatized cabal against our country. They recalled the efforts made by the authorities in the framework of the Bamako security. Here is Mali. We are well in Bamako. Here it is, and we are not surrounded. We are in complete freedom. It is in these that the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the International Cooperation began its intervention. The real image of Mali in total phase shift, with the one that some international media convey throughout the day. Women evolve independently and commit results. On a daily basis, armed terrorist groups are cornered. Teaches that they have changed their approach by targeting industries to road construction and now to the fuel tanks. The objective was to create the panic, even chaos, but predicts them. We all failed the script that you have been described, and which was concocted, we know, in workshops, foreign intelligence services, but also on the boards, on television sets, is not Mali, is not the Bamako in front of you. So it is important that those behind these terrorists and those who present themselves today, relays of the message of terrorist groups, can understand that all this misinformation will not wear, because in reality those who describe, they must come out of their dream to come to the reality. The reality it is Mali is here today. Mali is a normal country in an abnormal situation. It happens to all people, and we face it with great determination and self-sacrifice. But unfortunately, our efforts are not known, and often even intentionally alter. Far from CE, which is popularized, there is no blocking. There are loops in the supply of oxygen, but everything is implemented to quickly restore the situation. The state has organized itself to set up a strategic plan to resume supply, to ensure the safety of convoys, and more generally, presentation of military operation for the security of the country. And gradually, you see that hundreds of trucks are coming per day to take over Bamako's supply and other localities, and we will maintain these efforts. The Minister Job did not fail to salute the resilience and the sacrifice of the Malians, especially that of women and resistance fighters, in the correct supply of the country to international organizations and states. The message remains the same. No action concerning Mali will not be done without Mali. The terrible reaction of the African Union is below our expectations and far below CE, which is necessary to be able to really, as you said, the previous just now help to solve this problem. We expect African Union that she comes first to Mali, that it understands the problems of the Malians and finds solutions with the Malians, that it will apply with the agreement of the Malians. In this context of disinformation, the BAMX is the best answer to false information shared. The BAMX participates in the will of the authorities to modernize our defense tool and security, but not only because Mali has decided to strengthen ITS capabilities, defense and security in a vision of autonomy, because Mali has EU partners in the past in terms of defense and the security, but they were which were based on concepts of dependence. They were partnerships that have never allowed us to have the capabilities to defend ourselves with the Turkish synthetic defense technologies. Allow us to consider for Mali the creation of a defense industry. For today, Mali and Turkey work together to strengthen relations, economic and commercial, because the security of the country search for go hand in hand with socio-economic development. And it is this holistic approach that characterizes the vision of the Malian authorities. Parmex 25, an unprecedented space of technological innovations in armaments. Turkish industrialists exhibit in the different stands several other types of equipment of security, like the first generation drones and the latest generation of bulletproof vests or rocket launchers. Al-Jumatin and Omani take us into the world of weapons. Salon International of Defense and Security BAMX 2025. The mathematical engineering of Turkish in the field of armaments is perceptible in the different stands There are almost all kinds of arsenals of security, starting with the latest drones, generation adapted to security issues. Of the moment, a tour of the company stands, Skydagger and STM, allows us to learn more about the company manufacturers. Drones, we have three types of drones. We're currently here, the first, that is there. That is a drone armed with bullets. The range is 10 kilometers, and then the is 35 minutes. And then we have a reconnaissance drone. Of surveillance, the difference between the two is that there is no ammunition. With this, you can have the position of such a person in such a place. It takes the image too. It sends it to you. The kamikaze drones are there. When this drone sends you the image, you can directly use the kamikaze drones to attack the target. There we had 5 types of drones exposed. For this time, the air difference, depending on the air distance that they can travel and the load they can carry, are the smallest therefore, which is our minimum drone, which can take a load of 500 grams and travel a distance of 5 kilometers. It is the largest who can take on 10 and travel a distance of 10 kilometers. Therefore, with a speed of 160 kilometers per hour, bombs adapted to the current context are also exhibited, especially by the Asian company, a technology specialist to the subject and recognized worldwide, as you have seen it, as you have of 43 millimeters, 155 millimeters, 122 millimeters, and 80 millimeters. Another technological innovation, Turkish know-how. Ballistic plates for bulletproof vests, and the weapon for throwing shells and grenades at long and precise distances. We are in front of a shell and grenade launcher. The spear is maximum. It can reach up to 2 kilometers. But the spear is unique, i.e. accurate, so that it destroys a target. It is 1 kilometer, 500 meters. For destruction of any target present on the area, and its destruction is made to a rather wide radius. So this weapon too. She weighs 38 kilos, and it can be used on mobile vehicles and helicopters too, and bulletproof vests that protects to the legend of life generally. These vests is with iron. That is, they put the iron in the vests. But Turkey, this company has a particularity that is, instead of doing, they put this matter. The matter is called boron carbide. Are also at the rendezvous of this exhibition Bamako 2025 rocket missiles made in Turkey. Ultra-modern missions, efficient and reliable in the field of the defense and security in any case. A real treat for the participants who take the opportunity to exchange with people of the port industry of LA Defense and the security known throughout the world for their advanced military technology.
So if these people are the ones that are creating the confusion in Mali and we are calling on them to come and help us, then I wonder what is the essence of the African Union. But Mali is saying they are able to take care of themselves and they are denouncing Western media attack on Mali. This is always what they do. The West always create these narratives concerning Africa. Then we are the same people that will rise up to be targeting them because African Union came out to say this. Those of us who don't know that this union is white in the dark skin will believe, and we are the ones that will not be calling and yearning for the foreign intervention. Like one man said, one Frenchman said, now they'll create the situation that we will need the help of these people, because it will no longer be like the time that they used to come to us openly that they want to help us. So these are the things that these people are doing, creating situations and make sure that we will not yearn for them to come in. They are capable of taking care of their affairs in Mali. The military is capable and they are not yearning for any help. Like African Union decided to buy into the narrative because these ones are always there to serve their masters. So they create that narrative this way. You've also seen that the moment the United States of America came out that they want to intervene in Nigeria, African Union, boom, surface to also claim there is this kind of insecurity or crisis in Mali, yet we have crisis in Sudan. They are not going there to help them. We have crisis in Congo. They are not there to help them. Like there's crisis everywhere in Africa. That is what we should know. This is what they did when it came to Muammar Gaddafi, and we bought into the narrative. Today, what is the story of Libya? These are the same stories they created about all the leaders that we helped them to take out of Africa. But this is not the time for these people to continue to be using the games on us. A lot of us believe these Western medias, whatever they tell us is what we go by. But we need to wake up and understand that even if there is anything of that sort in Africa, it is we the Africans that have the right to take care of our problems. We don't meddle in the affairs of other people. So Africa is no longer young. Africa is not like a child that they want to always keep treating like a child and holding our hands as to what to do at what point in time and where we should be and how we should do things, because they believe that we are such children that can take care of anything that has to do with the African. And that narrative should be a thing of the past. All Africans must wake up and understand the game these people are playing on us. This is the time for us to stand and fight and defend. This is what we need Nigeria to be doing. And not for you to put religion, because the moment you allow that religion to eat into you, you've given them the chance to do whatever they want to do. That is why always I tell you, anything foreign that was given to us is for a purpose. But no matter how much you try to educate the African, we still don't believe this. We still do not believe this. What they have in them is bigger than what we are seeing. So because of that, we need to be careful. These people, it is very difficult to identify the kind of people they are. Mali is ready. And Mali, Assimi Abdurrahmane Chiani, Captain Ibrahim Traore, these leaders are capable of taking control over the affairs that have to do with their country. These are not democratically elected leaders. And ever since they came, look at the narratives they've given to us. None of them succeeded. So they are trying to use other means to invade, because this is how they always come through. So when they create a situation, we buy into it. Malians never rose to revolt against all in all, and it's still a shock to them. So with this one, they can come through African Union, but we say no to the intervention of any other person in Mali, because Mali is having a leader that can take care of the people in Mali. If he wasn't capable, he wouldn't even dare come. Those in democratic elected, because they don't have what it takes to lead and take care of their people, that's why we still have these democratic elected leaders leading and doing whatever that they please. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.